Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. We are going to focus in on how to get revenge on a covert narcissist or a psychopath. And I receive a lot of inquiries and questions on how to get back. How do I start my life again? And a lot of people want to know, do they have a karma? Are they ever, going to get in trouble for what they've done on a karmic level, on a grand level, on a spiritual level, on a psychological level? And I'm here to tell you yes. Cheaters never win. And it's important to realize that the covert narcissist and the psychopath, they both present with a heightened and pathological sense of self-importance. They feel above the law. They feel above and try to dominate, take control, and take power over and really sort of corrupt the good people. And the good person, I've seen individuals who, who are short. I mean, they can try to take on and overpower those who are a foot taller than them. I mean, they just try to corrupt and go after the good people of the world. And the good people are the people who are empathic, the people who have a good heart, meaning that they are sensitive, meaning that they are considerate, meaning that they are supportive, nurturing, kind, protective, will be often times altruistic, meaning that they are selfless. They have the charity within to put others first. And these are the good people that possess the qualities with which a narcissist and a psychopath like to surround themselves with. So why would they surround themselves with these types of people? For one, they are extremely opportunistic. And opportunistic means they are going to deliberately, cunningly, and calculatedly go after what they want. So they have the goal in mind when they set out in a relationship. And the relationship can be almost of a shell. It can be as a decoy. It can be as a disguise, particularly that in the psychopath. They will get married to people to present a facade of normalcy, yet they will rob these people blind. They will marry for self-interest, not for love. They will exploit them, their belongings, their assets, their good qualities, and oftentimes bring them to the brink of financial ruin, destruction, even suicide. The anxiety, the desperation, the depression that comes from being taken advantage of these people can become of catastrophic proportions. I have seen people who have legacy and generations of good wealth, good fortune, that have been generations in the building. In other words, old money. People who have had generation after generation of hard workers in their family be destroyed and brought to crumbles and crumble emotionally at the hands of these individuals who basically rob. Oh, it's just despicable. It's just despicable. And I'm not here to just be opinionated and judge, but I'm talking about unconscionable devastation of all that they have built and amassed in their life. And many generations of wealth, many generations, of family heirlooms that have been sold in order to self-promote them or promote their needs that are meaningful, that they were basically stolen right from underneath their nose in order to perpetuate their selfish needs. Jewelry that's had been sold off to auction, old stock money that's had to be sold off to auction, houses that have had to be put onto market and moved because this person had exploited and emptied out their bank account. The stuff that you see in movies. And not the lighthearted musicals. We're talking about real life devastation. We're talking about real life suicide. We're talking about real life breaking apart of families, family structures for future generations to come at the hands of a psychopath, of a narcissist. People who are opportunists, who marry for convenience, who date for convenience, who violate people's boundaries sexually. And when I talk about violation of boundaries, I'm talking about the way that they are suggestive and break people down. Get them, one good red flag and a good way for you to get revenge on them is to understand that this person will try to break you down through being on your mind constantly. If you find, and yes, I always, say, have to give the disclaimer, and that, when you find a new love interest, you might be excited and thinking about them a lot and very often. But if once you're in this relationship and it's for months, and weeks and months, and you find that you can't stop thinking about this person, it almost becomes like an obsession or a compulsion where you constantly have to get ready for this person. You constantly have to be responding to their texts or sending you pictures. You're trying to go to sleep and they want you to keep sending pictures. They're breaking you down. It's a psychological warfare where they try to capture you psychologically. And in essence, they really do capture people's minds and kind of take people over through instilling more importance assigned to their life than your own life. And so really the revenge, people ask me, how do I really get back at this individual? Well, for one, you need to realize that these people are just sadistic and they are opportunistic, and it is all about them. It has nothing to do with you, and you did nothing wrong. It's not that you had a weakness of character and that you could not please people, or you're not a good mate, or you're not a good catch, or you're not a good person. It is just when you're at the hands and at the mercy of these violators and perpetrators that they will make everybody a victim. Anybody and everybody. So if you feel, pathological envy or jealousy that, for the next person, or feeling like the next person is going to get it better than you, that is not the case. You need to remove that thought right now. And so you need to realize that, have the gratitude that you have now arrived at the understanding and conclusion that this person is not right for you. You have to understand that, and you have to swallow that pill. You have to swallow that with conviction and commitment, and understand that no one else is going to get it better than you. This person was so giving, loving, providing, the sweet nothings, the charm, whatever it is that you feel like you have lost from them, you've actually gained this in yourself. These are all qualities actually that you possess within, and you can have existing within your life and within a new relationship, but not at the hands and mercy of an individual who is going to take advantage of you and your goodness through covert manipulation ways, or psychopathic, pathological lying, and really that calculated and deliberate hurt that is part of these relationships. So getting really right on to how to get revenge, how to turn away, how to turn askance. It's not always about turning them into the police. It's not about, telling their workplace that this is what these people are doing. It's not about posting on Facebook. It's not about trying to find, websites where you can turn in the cheaters of the world, or turn their story into, the various reality shows, not Maury Povich, but, all those, reality talking shows of, cheaters or whatever. You don't want to engage in these people any longer. To get revenge is to really know and expose who they are. Exposure means like just removing the mask and remembering what was behind the mask and letting that resonate, and know that chill, that fear, that disgust, that oh my God moment, when you realize that there is a completely different character behind the mask, without a heart, without caring, without protection of you, without being there for when you were sick, who could not, who did not want to do whatever you wanted to do, who was, so pathologically selfish that they couldn't give you, the time of day or really help enlarge the light in your life. They couldn't, you couldn't live in the light with them. It's basically like you're always living in the shadows. So realize that kind of cloud that overhangs them is theirs. It does not belong to you. The darkness does not belong to you. The insults do not belong to you. They belong to an abuser. They belong to a cluster B pathological individual who that's how they get by in life. Rather than connecting with others, they control and manipulate others. They don't really connect with others. They don't have the emotional reservoir and sort of spectrum of emotions, they don't have that in their life. It's almost like they're emotionally amputated, if you will, in terms of if you can really understand, they don't have that as part of their emotional being. So it's really like, a dog barking up at the wrong tree. Your your cat is not in that tree. Your lovebird is not in that tree. That is not where they exist. Look at the whole of life. Begin to look back at the big picture and begin with gratitude to say, oh my God, thank God I am on my feet. Thank God I've been able to see what I saw, and now I can trust my senses. I love my senses. I love having a heart in life. I love having my heart and my mind in balance and aligned. And I know that I have values, and I know that I can actually now go and actualize these. I can now self-actualize as a person, knowing that this person is out of my life, that they're no longer the spiritual and emotional vampire that are trying to take away my value, my energy, my happiness, my joy, my peace, my harmony, all the talents that I bring to in my life, the things that I want to do that they were holding me back from. That's no longer a barrier in my life. In fact, there's no more walls. I've just blown out the walls. I've blown out the barriers in my life. And I'm now going and pursuing these without staying ensnared, stuck, and emotionally crippled by this individual, because that is how you keep their grandiosity in place. When you're hurt, you're crying, you're crippled, you're engaging them in in that sort of bantering. So if you have to encounter a narcissist or a psychopath, and you need to basically live in your personal power, and don't give them any really attention, validation, realize that even though they might appear charming, affable, friendly, they might put on a fake smile, they might have been in your family, they might try to hoover you back. These are things that you can and absolutely have the ability to rise up against and get over, because this individual is just kind of like they have an insatiable, it's like a neediness. There's never a content with them. They only are there out of obligation. They only they have an obligation to people. They don't have love for people. So, it's, if you think about this, you really don't want to carry that through life. You don't want to carry that negative toxicity through life. You want to be able to say to them, stop, that's opportunistic. Be very, very simple and blunt with these people, and just very declarative. You really want to know that they love to have mirroring back at them, even if it's negative. If you're assigning any sort of what do you think about me, because they're, what's always running through their mind is what do you think about me? What do you think about me? So that you're constantly attending to them, and they will create this tension. They will create this paranoia. They'll, and so they really take advantage of the good in people and situations overall. So what I find most a shame is that they try to corrupt good, wholesome, harmonic situations. So, you can go out and be seeing like the most amazing symphony, and they're going to find a way to disrupt the attention on it where you can't even take in a good experience. There's always some drama that they are going to try to put in, and, try to make things askew so that you're remembering them and you're not remembering your experience. And, they're going to try to, get under your skin, claw at you emotionally. A lot of people do call it, emotional rape, where basically they, against your will, they are trying to penetrate and get underneath your skin emotionally. And not in an empowering way, not in a positive way, but in a pity, in a fearful, in a very controlling and incessantly needy way. But it's beyond, it really becomes, especially in the psychopathic, it can become, more perverse and more scary than really what is human. So it's really it's not even of a human. It's almost as if, as I say, it's very difficult to even put words to it, because It's so unconscionable. It's really, and you don't want to make them part of your vocabulary. You don't want to make them part of who you associate with. You don't want to keep them in your mind's eye. You don't want to speak them on your tongue. You don't want to have their feel. You want to completely purge yourself of this. And so it's very important that you fill your life with love and light. And when I talk about light, I mean true white, pure light. And that should infuse your being and infuse your stature. And it should infuse really every ounce of your being, every speck of your being, every cell. Because you have dominion over the cells in your body. The cells in your body belong to you. They do not belong to the narcissist or the psychopath. So you have to realize you do not belong to them. You belong to you. So even though they have tried to twist and contort things that, you were theirs, and they might have manipulated you in feeling that way and thinking that way, like you are mine. And they might have told you this a lot. They might have told you these sort of subtle commands where you didn't belong to yourself anymore. In fact, that's one of the very typical things of to know when you're in an emotionally manipulative relationship is when your well-being and your belief in yourself is based on the presence of another. So your self-belief should always be able to be within yourself. Your emotional well-being should be under your dominion. Under your dominion, which means under your control. Your body and your cells belong to you. Your emotions belong to you. Your well-being belongs to you. It's not at the hands or fate of another. It is based on you. And so if you've come to this channel, you have sought something out. You are searching something out. And it was you that sought this out. And it's you that is receiving the benefit. And it's you receiving the knowledge, the tools, the understanding. And it is you that is taking charge. It is not the psychopath. It is not the narcissist. It is a lesson learned to get revenge and realize that, to know that these people are opportunists and that they take people for all that they're worth. And whatever it is, they'll get whatever it is that they want: money, love, sex, attention, status, connections, whatever it is they want, they're going to try to take that and then move on. And they will leave basically people crumbling in their path, and they will bring down the greatest, the nicest, the most gorgeous, the sweetest of people, male and female alike, just to their ends. And it's only in the conquering, it's only in the taking that they are satisfied. So they are really the pathological takers of the world. And they really don't care what they have to do or to do to get there. And so, one of the real things is to realize is that they have a mask. They will put on a face. They will put on a show. They will, they will, the fault, the error, where people kind of fall for them, if you will, is that show. They think that it's, part of being connected. Putting on, I am here for you. I am here to, satisfy your needs. Perhaps you were coming from a rebounded relationship, and then here comes this person who seems so funny, so charming, and they seem to possess these qualities that you're missing in your life or that you might admire, and they seem to round you out, when you're with them. And so this can be part of the issue, is that, inadvertently you had felt you were lacking in something, or you had an inherent weakness, and that this person was, strengthening that. Yet you didn't really have that within yourself. This person then began to pit you against your weaknesses. And, and these people can, turn and be one way to another person, and then turn and be another way to another person. And so it's really, really sick and sad. And, that is one, I would say, trademark that you can get to know. And then to find revenge is basically to realize, that once you expose them, let that be the bottom line with them. The exposure is the exposure, and the revenge is their greatest weakness, in not having power, not having control. And really, once you are able to clearly see the the wounding person underneath and how that they take advantage of. And it's that you know that, and that you then hold them accountable to that, and that you then protect yourself from furthermore falling for that. And to get revenge, you really need to almost laugh and really not shed any more tears, because you are reinforcing that grandiosity when you begin to stay and become weak, and try to cling on to them, or try to continue thinking about them. People become imprisoned by these people and their manipulation for years, even after the relationship is broken up. I mean, I've worked with clients who, it's been 2.5 years and they're still trying to get this person back, even though they've moved on. It's like, you are still, you're still putting them on this pedestal, and they are still manipulating you, even though they have moved on in their life, and they're not valuing you. They're basically taking you for whatever it is, for a food, for a position, for a vacation, for a house. I mean, they're extremely parasitic. And so, you can just, you look at them and you can just say parasitic. I mean, you can just say stop. Let it go. Stop. You have to just, I would say just, almost you have to adapt what I would call a very dispassionate, which means not emotional, but very objective and very learned and very concrete and very confident sort of emotional taking charge of yourself. So you have to have emotional leverage and what I call neutral, and what I call basically not good, not bad, just very flat tonation. So it has to be spoken with verbiage which does not usually carry your emotional tone. So very emotionally flat, almost where it sounds like a robot. I mean, where you don't have any emotional emphasis or emotional value to the way that you speak. And, you just need to speak with them in that tone, with very flat, very dispassionate, very indifferent, and very objective, and as if they're not really a person, because they really aren't true in that sense. They don't really have that sort of empathy. They don't have that heart. You're not hurting them. You're not, these people are very, they don't really have a need to be connected to others, because they don't present with an empathy. They don't have this neural wiring. They don't have the physiology for it. They really do not love. They really do not have a connection to people. They really, they just don't. And if you've exposed them, I think you've seen where this person is. And so, you need to cut them out. You need to go no contact, and understand sometimes it takes, emotional healing to get that, but also the emotional healing afterwards. So when you are getting revenge on them, it's just basically knowing that they are opportunists. How to, cut them out of your life. Get rid of everything in your home that belongs to them or that they have given to you. Get rid of it. I mean, it has, they have objectified you. They do not place any value on you as a person, and you don't need this type of person around. So going no contact, keeping your emotions elevated and high and really unscathed, because this person can only really allow you to, drag you through the coals if you begin to foster that over-idealized vision of them, which, you can't project goodness onto their evil. It is what it is. If you're not used to being unsupportive, because chances are it is in your kindness, it is in your nature to be supportive, loving, and seeing the best in people, and you still want to do that with this individual, you need to let it go like you've never let it go before. You need to get revenge on them by living your life in happiness, harmoniousness, and really going out and expanding your life, expanding who you're associating with, keeping yourself protected now, and not living your life out of fear of them finding you out. Cease to live in fear, because they will continue to victimize from afar. They will continue to try to keep you paranoid and, try to hoover you back in, or, allow these sort of fearful brainwashing thoughts to continue. So go no contact. Get revenge on them by being able to know that the exposure is real. And just, if you need to be in contact with them, just let them know, I've exposed you. You're exposed. You're done. You are done. And let them know, it's just that's it. It's just, there's nothing more to say. You have to be very curt and not with a lot of communication with them, because any communication to a narcissist or a psychopath while they're still in the hoover phase is validating for them, because, oh, look who's clamoring over me, is how they interpret it. So don't give them, don't give them that. Don't give them the attention. Turn it around to yourself and really give the attention, care, and love bomb yourself. Take care of yourself. Give attention to you where it's well deserved and well placed, and is going to propel your life to meet better people moving forward. So really get those results. Plug into the tools here that we discuss here on Peace and Harmony, and give yourself an ultimatum. Give yourself a date with which you want to heal by. If it's 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 6 months, make a firm date and write it in the calendar. Get yourself, the calendar date, and, set a date, a healed by date, where nothing more will ever begin. And really healing, I define it as, even this person, no matter what they do, say, or become, it doesn't cause you pain anymore. You've let them go. You let them go in love and light, and you're not judging them, but all the pieces are within you. They don't belong to them. You have dominion, you have courage, and you have faced the fear with love, and you have let them go and no longer cease to be hurt by an individual who takes opportunity through the basically efforts and love of others by taking advantage of them. You're no longer a prey to these opportunists, but furthermore, you seek to only be surrounded by people who truly possess empathy, who truly possess the kindness and don't threaten you, your heart, your mind, your spirit, just through their presence. Peace and harmony with you here today. I hope these videos do help. Please share, please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.